Yeah, hi there. These comments are for AR. This is Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And you're also one of my students at California State University, San Bernardino. And right now I'm going to give you a score on your essay and give you some basic tips I think that maybe can get your writing a little bit better than what it is right now. Okay, first of all, in terms of your writing, you're actually in pretty good shape. I'm going to put you at a 2.75 out of 5 or 18 points out of 30. So you are having, I think, some problems with your word choice and your word forms, and you have a few errors in sentence structure or usage, but I didn't put you in the low 2 range because I don't think you have a large number of errors, but you do have some errors nonetheless. All right, let's take a look at your writing. Okay, so let me tell you what I like about it though. I like how you have a thesis and you have good topic sentences that help develop each of your key points in your thesis. So there's a pretty good connection, I think, with what's happening in your body paragraphs with what you said you were going to do in your thesis. Now, in terms of grammar and word choice, let's take a look at each paragraph, and I will give you an example of maybe something that you can do to help improve your writing a little bit. So in the paragraph 1, you say one of these is sharing. I'm going to say sharing a room with a person who is strange. Probably don't have to use the word them there, just say who is strange. Then say living with a roommate needs to be done according to certain characteristics. I would just say period there. That's a little bit wordy in each one of them. And then just say, for me, a good roommate must have 3 important traits. And then your thesis. So that's perfect. Okay, second paragraph. Let's take a look at another problem. Your second line, you say they need to talk to each other about themselves, and then you have comma, this will give them, you want to say comfort. But you don't want to say this. Change this to which. That way you take the second sentence, you turn it into a dependent clause, and you avoid the what's called the comma splice that you have in the sentence. So again, you'd say this. They need to talk to each other about themselves, comma, which will give them comfort by knowing their wishes and expectations. So that's an example of a change you can make in that second paragraph. Let's go to your third paragraph. Your second sentence. You say when students live with a roommate, they, how about not used, but they may borrow each other's personal belongings, such as computers. I would change it to say something like this. You can't use the word used after may. May is a modal, which means you want to use the base form of the verb after that. Okay, in your next paragraph, let me give you another example. In the second sentence of your fourth paragraph, you say, in searching for, I would change this to, in searching for a roommate, students may pay attention to a person, how about this, who makes cleanliness an important part of his or her life. That's how I would probably change that particular sentence. And then in the conclusion, I might say this. You say, by finding these traits in both students who live together, will make. Okay, that's called a mixed construction. You can't say by and then use a gerund and then have will make. You need to use a subject in the beginning. So the way that you do that is by eliminating the word by and then just say, finding these traits in both students who live together will make their life easier and more comfortable. So if you want to keep the parallelism there, you're using ER with easier, but you can't say comfortabler because comfortable is a 3-syllable adjective, so you would say easier and more comfortable, right? So those are some changes that I would make, and there are more changes than just that, but I just wanted to give you an example in each particular paragraph of a specific change in either your sentence structure or your word choice that would improve the polish of your essay. But again, very strong organization. You have good details to help explain your ideas and all of that, but you just need to minimize the number of errors you're making in the writing if you want to score higher. So I would recommend at my online TOEFL course, I would recommend in terms of grammar, I would say if you go to my grammar section, the lesson 1 on sentence variety, I think that would be very useful for you. Also lesson 2 about being more concise, I think you could benefit by studying that lesson. Also lesson 3 about when to use commas or when not to use commas, I think you could benefit by reviewing that particular lesson. And then for the remainder of the quarter, to help you improve your editing and your writing skills, I strongly suggest that you make it a habit, maybe once or twice a week, to do some practice in grammar lesson number 7. First, you can focus in the writing exercises. Second, you can focus in the grammar exercises there. So, okay, anyway, in terms of the writing part of my course, let me see if there's any other lessons I might recommend there. Let's say you have a good organization of ideas, so I'm not going to really make any recommendations in that area at this point, but you might take a look at writing lesson number 7, where it has 45 sample essays for the independent writing tasks. So you could look at that to just get some ideas on the type of grammar that writers use to answer this type of question. And maybe once or twice a week you might take one of the essays from my website and then type it by hand or write it. Either way, it can help you get more familiar with the grammar and the vocabulary that the writer is using.